70 adults wore movement monitors for a week, while researchers tested one kitchen ingredient against a dummy capsule. And the ones taking it fell asleep 35% faster. Everything you've heard about warm milk is obsolete. If you want to fall asleep faster, stop waking at 3 and wake up repaired. I went through the trials. And one line in a 90-day blood panel explains all 3. And most people never get there, closing one of 3 doors while the other 2 stay wide open. In today's video, I will reveal the one warm cup, 3 ingredients, 1 specific hour, and the exact protocol at the end. None of it works though, until you accept that you don't have one sleep problem. You have 3, and they run on completely different chemistry. Number 1, the 3 doors. And that's why the last thing you tried stopped working by week 2. Call them the 3 doors. First door, temperature. Your body can't begin sleep until your core temperature starts falling. Nothing to do with tiredness. Second door, fuel. Somewhere between 2 and 4 in the morning, your liver runs low, your blood sugar dips, and your body fires a stress hormone to drag sugar out of storage. That hormone is why your eyes snap open at 3:12 with your heart already going. Third door, your nervous system has an off switch, and in a lot of us it's stuck. You've tried something for one of those. Everyone has, and it half worked, then quit, and you decided nothing works on you. Nothing was wrong with you. You were closing one door in a house with 3, and one ingredient has human trial data on all 3 at once. It's a seed that's been in kitchens for 2,000 years, and nobody puts it in a bedtime drink. Number 2, 7 days measured. Black seed, Nigella sativa. In 2023, a team ran it properly. 70 adults, 18 to 65, all with sleep that left them unrefreshed. Half got a standardized black cumin oil extract, half a dummy capsule. 200 milligrams a day. Nobody knew who had which. Not the participants, not the researchers. And they didn't ask people how they slept. They strapped monitors to every wrist and measured it. 7 days. Against placebo. Time to fall asleep, down 35%. Time lying awake in the night, down 22. Total sleep, up 19. Sleep efficiency, up almost 8. A result that lopsided turns up by chance less than once in 1,000 runs. That held on every measure. And on the question of whether people woke up feeling repaired, the Black Seed group scored 69% higher. So before we go further, the thing that decides whether you get that result or nothing. Those trials used cold-pressed oil. Ground seed and powder capsules are a different product. And the active compound, thymoquinone, is destroyed by 2 ordinary things: heat and light. 3 checks. Cold-pressed, never refined. Dark glass, because light gets straight through the clear stuff. And a thymoquinone percentage printed on the label. If it isn't printed, nobody measured it. The ones that pass all 3 are tagged under this video. 7 days only proves that it works. To find out why, they had to draw blood. Number 3, what the lab work showed. A second trial, same design, followed 72 adults for 90 days on the same 200 milligrams taken after dinner. This time, they ran lab work, and the numbers came back strange. Cortisol, the body's stress hormone, came down. The placebo group didn't budge. Melatonin went up, and orexin A went down. Orexin is the one that matters, and almost nobody has heard of it. It's your wakefulness switch. High orexin, you stay alert. Orexin drops, sleep is allowed to happen. People whose bodies lack it entirely have narcolepsy and fall asleep without warning. Orexin A falling was the largest single effect in the biomarker panel. 7 in 10 said they were satisfied with their sleep by day 7. Tonight's version of that. This is a 1-week experiment, not a 6-month commitment. So there's the third door, with a name and a blood test behind it, which makes the thing in your bedside drawer look very different. Number 4, the melatonin trap. Melatonin. Half of you have a bottle within arm's reach of where you're sitting. And melatonin isn't a con. It works. The question is what it works on. Melatonin is a timing signal. It tells your brain the sun went down. That's the whole job. It's a clock, not a sedative. And yes, I just told you black seed pushed melatonin up. It did. But your own body making it on its own schedule and you swallowing a tablet at 10 at night are not the same event. So it can help you get to sleep and does almost nothing for keeping you there. It doesn't top up your liver. Your evening cortisol doesn't move. And it barely touches the wakefulness switch we measured a minute ago. You take it, you drop off faster, you decide it's working. Then you're awake at 3 anyway, so you assume you need a bigger dose. You don't. You're closing door 1 and paying for it. And if you've been buying it monthly for a year, that's the part that stings. That's the trap. The obvious answer is a third of an answer. I want to show you what closes door 2, because that's the one that wakes you. But Dr. 1 has to come first, and door 1 costs nothing. And door 1 has an answer you already own. Right now, without moving, notice your feet. Are they cold? Number 5. The radiator effect. If they are, that's not a comfort problem. That's door 1, jammed shut. You don't fall asleep because you're tired. You fall asleep because you're cooling. Your core temperature runs on a 24-hour rhythm. It peaks in the early evening, then slides. And it has to drop a degree or 2 Fahrenheit before deep sleep will happen. That drop is the signal. Not tiredness, the drop. Now the part that sounds wrong. To cool the core faster, you warm the outside. Warm your skin. A bath, a hot mug in both hands. And the blood vessels in your hands, feet and face open right up. Doctors call it vasodilation. I call it the radiator effect. Warm blood rushes to the surface, dumps heat into the room, comes back cooler than it left. Warm the edges, cool the middle. It's why people who sleep in socks drop off faster. The feet are the release valve. But warm yourself at the wrong hour, and you get nothing at all. The catch is the clock, and bathtubs proved it. Number 6, the 90-minute window. Do it too late, and you climb into bed hot, which is the opposite of what you want. In 2019, a team went through more than 5,000 studies on warming the body before bed, and kept 13 with solid data. Their review ran in Sleep Medicine Reviews. 10 minutes of warming, done 1 to 2 hours before sleep, cut the time it took people to nod off by about 36%. Roughly 10 minutes faster. And the sweet spot landed around 90 minutes out. Why 90? The warming pushes your core up first. Then the radiator opens and the temperature falls. Past where it started. Time it right, and that fall lands the moment your head hits the pillow. So when I say 1 hour before bed, I'm not picking a round number. Tonight, set an alarm for 90 minutes before you want to be asleep. That's the whole intervention. Door 1 closed. Now the one that wakes you at 3. Your own body sounds that alarm, using the chemical it would use in a car crash. Number 7, the 3 a.m. alarm. Your brain doesn't shut down overnight. It keeps burning fuel. And while you sleep, the glucose in your blood gets topped up quietly by your liver, which releases a stored sugar called glycogen. That store is finite. Eat early, eat light, or run low, and it goes thin in the small hours. Your body treats low blood sugar as an emergency, because it is one. So it does what it was built to do. It releases adrenaline and cortisol to force sugar back into circulation. Those are wake-up chemicals. That's what they're for. Which is why you don't drift awake. You launch awake. Heart going, mind racing, no clue why, because nothing happened. You weren't dreaming. There was no noise. There was a fuel gauge, it hit empty, and your body sounded an alarm. You can't argue that alarm down at 3 in the morning. But you can make sure the tank isn't empty, and it has to be the kind of fuel your liver actually wants. Number 8, why honey isn't sugar. Now the obvious objection. Sugar before bed. Isn't that the worst thing I can do? Fair. So let me draw the line. Table sugar is glucose and fructose bonded together and dumped into your bloodstream fast. Honey is a different animal. The two arrive already separated, alongside trace enzymes, minerals, and small amounts of amino acids, tryptophan among them, which is the raw material your body uses to build serotonin and then melatonin. And honey's fructose is handled mainly by the liver, the exact organ we're keeping stocked overnight. I'll be straight, that mechanism is still a theory. But somebody has put it to the test. 300 children with a nighttime cough, 10 grams of honey half an hour before bed, against a placebo syrup. The honey group slept better on every measure the parents reported. 10 grams, a teaspoon and a half. Hold that number. 2 doors down and 1 ingredient left. Before it though, I owe you the most uncomfortable sentence in this video. Number 9, what they actually tested. I'd rather lose your click than mislead you. Those trials didn't use oil off a shop shelf. They used a standardized extract, thymoquinone and carvacrol, held at a fixed 10-to-1 ratio, in a 200 milligram capsule, made in a lab. Your bottle isn't that. Same plant, same active compound. But the strength swings between bottles depending on how it was pressed and how long it sat in the light. That's exactly why those 3 checks matter, and why I'm not going to pretend a kitchen teaspoon equals a clinical dose. It'll still work, just not as hard. That's the honest picture, and anyone promising you more is selling something. We're 1 ingredient from the protocol now. Everything left is about the 3rd thing in the cup, and about not hurting yourself with it. Now the 3rd ingredient. Oldest of them, least studied. It's also the only thing in this cup that can genuinely hurt you. Number 10, the oldest sleep spice, nutmeg. Yes, the jar in your baking cupboard. Nutmeg carries fat-soluble compounds, myristicin, elemicin, trimyristin, that act on the central nervous system, and the research points toward GABA, your brain's main braking system. GABA is what prescription sleeping tablets go after. It's the signal that tells an overfiring nervous system to be quiet. The clearest lab work here is old. In one published pharmacology study, a nutmeg extract increased the duration of both light and deep sleep in test animals, and the trimyristin appeared to strengthen it. The odd part, the extract that worked had no measurable myristicin in it at all. The active piece still hasn't been pinned down, and it's worth asking why the evidence is this thin. Nobody funds a trial on a spice that costs £2 a jar and can't be patented. Meanwhile, traditional practice across India and the Middle East hasn't changed in centuries. A pinch of nutmeg in warm milk. Warm. Fat. Tiny dose. And that word, pinch, carries more weight than any word in this video. Cross the line and you don't fall asleep. You hallucinate. Number 11, the pinch line. If you take nothing else from this video, take the next 90 seconds. The sleep dose is small. 1/8 of a teaspoon, about 1/4 of a gram. A genuine pinch. The documented point where nutmeg turns toxic is around 5 grams, a little over 2 level teaspoons. At 10 grams, 4.5 teaspoons, one study found every single participant developed symptoms. And they're not subtle. Nausea, dizziness, racing heart, agitation, severe anxiety, sometimes hallucinations. 2 things make this nasty. Effects are delayed 3 to 8 hours, so somebody who feels nothing at bedtime doubles the dose the next night. And once it starts, it can run 72 hours. There's no off switch. From a safe pinch to a poisoning is 4 doublings. 4 nights of deciding it hasn't kicked in yet. More isn't stronger. More is poisoning. So you've got 3 ingredients and a safe dose, and you can still destroy all of it in about 4 seconds. Number 12, the boiling mistake. Boiling water. Most people build a bedtime drink like a cup of tea. Kettle screams, water in, honey on top. In that one moment, you've undone 2 of your 3 ingredients. Raw honey carries enzymes and delicate aromatics that break down above about 140 Fahrenheit. 60 Celsius. Boiling water is 212. At that temperature, honey stops being honey and starts being syrup. And the black seed compounds those trials were built around? Heat sensitive too. Same reason you buy it cold pressed. So here's the test. and you don't need a thermometer. Fingertip in for 3 seconds and out. Comfortable, you're there. Painful, you wait. And if you have to blow across the top before you can sip it, it's still too hot. Warm, not hot. One detail separating the people who feel something from the people who tell me it did nothing. That's the last rule. Now, the cup. Number 13, the Golden Night Tonic. You need 4 things. 1 cup of warm liquid. Whole milk if you handle dairy, because the fat carries the nutmeg compounds. Unsweetened almond or oat works. Warm water works if that's all you've got. A teaspoon and a half of raw honey. Your 10 grams from the study. Half a teaspoon of cold pressed black seed oil. Start at a quarter for 3 nights. The taste is strong and peppery, and it catches people off guard. And an eighth of a teaspoon of ground nutmeg. The pinch, not 1 grain more. Heat the liquid until it's comfortable to hold. Kettle users, boil it. Then let it stand 4 or 5 minutes. Stir the nutmeg in first while it's warmest so it disperses. Wait a minute. Then honey and oil go in last. Last. Always last. And since the oil is doing the heaviest lifting in that cup. At half a teaspoon, a night 100 milliliter bottle runs about 6 weeks, which works out cheaper per night than a cup of coffee. The 3 that meet all the checks are tagged below this video. Buy the smallest bottle first. If the taste beats you, you've lost very little. 60 to 90 minutes before you mean to be asleep. Sip it slowly. But don't make it tonight until you've heard the next 90 seconds. Number 14. The 4 who can't. 4 groups should never drink this. 1. Anyone pregnant or breastfeeding. Black seed and nutmeg are both traditionally avoided, and nutmeg in quantity has been linked to uterine stimulation. Don't. 2. Anyone on blood thinners or with surgery booked in the next 2 weeks. Black seed can affect clotting and platelet function. Tell your surgeon and stop well beforehand. 3. Anyone medicated for blood pressure or diabetes. Not because it's dangerous. Because black seed lowers both and honey raises blood sugar, and those numbers stack. You want your doctor watching that. 4. No honey for a child under 1 year old. Not a taste. Not a drop. Infant botulism risk, and that one's absolute. And if you're on a prescription sedative, ask before stacking this on top. 2 breaks on the same pedal isn't twice as good. Assuming none of that is you, there's one more thing to get right. The recipe is the easy half. The calendar is the half people fail. Number 15, the 14 nights. Now, how long this really takes. Nights 1 to 3. You get to sleep faster. That's door 1, and it arrives quickest because temperature is a physics problem and physics is fast. Nights 4 to 7. The 3 a.m. waking starts to soften. Door 2 closing. Nights 8 to 14. This is where people describe waking up and actually feeling repaired. Door 3. Which lines up exactly with the trials. The 7-day study got its gains inside a week, and the 90-day study watched the hormones deepen from there. 14 nights before you judge it. Same time, same amounts. Miss 3 nights in a row, and you're starting over. And those cold feet from earlier? Check them again on night 4. Warm feet mean the radiator opened. You came here for a recipe. You're leaving able to name which door is waking you, which is the part almost nobody gets to. And it opens a question I can't answer in this video. Those were the 3 doors, the clock, the pinch line, and the exact protocol. Every number of it from peer-reviewed trials. But sleep is the smallest thing in that cup, and if you stop here, you'll never know what else the oil was doing while you slept. And it's this. The compound that drops orexin has 10 other effects with human trial data behind them, and almost everyone is taking it in the form that works least. If you want the 10 biggest black seed oil benefits you've been missing for years, and exactly how to use it right, that video is on screen now.